Bowl Bros.
I think we didn't change that. So that's we are live. let me try this again.
I love it.
Let's go. Bowl Bros, let's go.
What's up, guys?
Now we are here.
hey, that was funny. I was like, so that must have been the setup you had last time for the other live. Okay, I got it. Okay, that was kind of funny. I was like, hey, what's up? Whoa, we're live right now. Sorry, guys.
I was like, okay, we just went right into it. But hey, here we are. We should have actually tried to change it up to the one that Kyle being missing, because he did that for you because you were not at the live for the schedule release.
Oh, so. That's right. Exactly correct. Yeah. So. And by the way, that schedule release video was so sick. I've probably seen it like 10 times. Yo, and Aether, just so you know, we lost our game on Thursday. So pissed off. I like to win. I like to win, baby. So I was pretty frustrated about my loss there. But first loss of the season. Take my lumps. It is what it is. So, anyways. All right, guys.
Sound like Al Davis over there. Just win, baby.
Just win, baby. What's up? Oh, the Raiders, dude. Let's listen to this. Let's not damper our conversation about the Raiders, guys. Come on.
Yeah. Man. Well, speak of that, the schedule release and all the things that we took a lot of shots at a lot of teams through that.
Yeah, we did.
I love it, dude. I loved it. But that little ticket came out. How basically, I can't remember the exact words that were on top, but basically it was pretty much FTR. And then it showed like their records in the last like 5 years. And then the QR code of basically leading them to go get a job kind of thing.
So sick.
Dude, they just beat them up. And then also the slot machine with all the different various quarterbacks that were going to be on the team. But then they ended up with Garoppolo basically as the jackpot, I guess.
So sick.
Such a good video. I mean, there were so many hits all around there, dude. But yeah, guys, Aether, throw out your your questions, comments, everything like that too. We got some stuff that we want to chat about, free agents and such too. But yeah, we got a packed show that we'd like to chat with you guys on. So
yeah, we got a lot we want to discuss, right? We want to talk about free agency quite a bit. I still think there's a few people out there that we should probably go after. By the way, again, I love the draft. You guys are going to be seeing a ton of videos on undrafted free agents. I've already shot all those videos. They're going to be bled out one day at a time. Guys, I've done a lot of work on all those undrafted free agents. I'm hyped on them. And I know you did a whole video, James, on that. And like, I'm telling you, like, there's a theme with this team, right? They like big players. And I remember Brandon Staley making a comment about, it's a man's game. You need a man's body, right? And I remember, I really wanted Zay Flowers. A lot of people wanted Zay Flowers. Yep. And we picked Quentin, big old Q. But, he's the prototypical type of players that this team wants. And that's what we want. So, look, it is what it is, guys, right? I like Q. The more I've studied Q, I think he's been amazing. So I'm excited. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, and it's been cool to be able to see the rookies on field too. Seeing Q kind of run some basic little routes and everything too. It's kind of fun to be able to see that and see our guys out there. Dan Hentley out there running around doing his thing, and it's just fun that we could actually see the products that we drafted on field. And I mean, Q. It's interesting because a lot of people, even with a video and everything, they were like, oh, well, he caught the pass, and he caught the pass with his hands, not his body, and everything like that. And some people were like, well, people are saying he can't catch the ball with his hands kind of thing. But look at what you could do here, and I think those are things that they're probably going to emphasize quite a bit with Q. And it's exciting. It's just exciting. And by the way, guys, we ended up signing, and let me even throw that up there too, just on the screen. We did sign 6 of our players already, which is awesome to see. And I'm glad that we already get this out of the way quickly. I always go back to the Joey Bosa contract and how that held up for so long. The Chargers were basically slow to get him signed for whatever reason. I think a lot of it was just guarantees and contracts and such too. Quentin Johnston's under contracts, Dan Hentley, Darius Davis, Jordan McFadden, Scott Matlock. Matlock, I always think of the television show when I think of his name.
Yeah, for real, right?
And then Max Duggan. So we're just waiting for Thule to be able to get signed too, which will probably very shortly. So I'm glad to see that we already got guys under contracts here.
Yeah,
let's not have issues.
Yeah, and that's smart, right? Let's get them in camp. The quicker they can be in camp, the better, right? And it's just. It's interesting, man. I think about that a lot. And I'll tell you, I kind of understand why Thule's sitting out like that, because I think he probably has an agent that thinks, hey, man, you should have been a first-round talent. We should probably go up for more money with you, because a lot of people thought he was going to go in the first round. I saw some, a lot of people thought he was going to go first round. So, I think it's a money conversation at this point, but it doesn't work that way, right? In the NFL, wherever you get picked in your draft is kind of, there's dollar amounts associated with, you're the 200th pick, you're the 90th pick, you're the whatever. It's a kind of a sliding scale, basically, right? And that's all it is. So I don't know, maybe who knows, right? So we'll see what he can do. So
yeah, and it's the thing is too, if you look at other second round picks or something like that, I mean, generally it's a 4-year type contract. It's generally around $4 million to $5 million total kind of contract. It's a big drop from first round pick, basically.
Agreed.
Yeah, big drop. And so you really can't try to get a first round, type contract when you got drafted in the second round kind of thing. So
100%.
It is what it is. And I think that it's just more than just going over some of these small little bits on the contract, which, that's the right thing to do. That's the right thing to do as a player. Yeah. You got to make sure you look over all the little things too, injury clauses, all that kind of such. The cool thing about Thule is that he's a younger guy, and I kind of hope that he really pans out very well.
20 years old.
So, you got to think when his contract's over with, he'll be 24, possibly turning 25. He could get another big contract. And then there's even a chance of getting a third contract with his age. I'm really, really hoping that he actually pans out very well for us.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Just for solidifying that edge nose. I don't know where they're going to end up putting him at, but he might be kind of this tweener kind of player for us that I think will be really, really good all around. So I'm excited about it. Darius Davis, I know, I believe Joey just kind of brought up that.
Yep.
Dude, I'm excited about Darius. I think he's going to be an awesome, awesome player. Jet sweeps is going to be one thing that we talked about that in one of his interviews that I watched. He's going to take him to the house. And,
big time.
I think he's going to be a great X factor for us. I think he's going to be great. He's one of the fastest wide receivers in the draft. I'm excited about him. He's going to be great.
So, again, I don't want to beat a dead horse. I know we talk about the draft so much, but look at all these guys. Quentin Johnson replacing Mike Williams or Keenan Allen. We know we can't keep both of those wide receivers next year, dollar wise. So we're hoping Q could step in. Thule, the thing about Thule, we got Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack getting older, right? Probably can't keep them either. Secondarily, Dan Henley, we did not pick up the 5th-year contract for our boy K9, right? Most likely he's not going to be with us next year. So he's a backfill for that. Darius Davis, we need more speed. We got Guyton, and now we got Darius Davis, more speed. Jordan McFadden, guys, a lot of people are sleeping on him. Dude, they got 3,000 snaps.
Yeah.
3,000 snaps at Clemson.
Yep.
And he played all up and down the line. Like,
guys,
the thing is, like, I look at this draft and I think, man, it was a perfect draft. It's perfect. And then Scott Matlock, that guy's nasty, man. He's the Viking leprechaun, man. That's how I look at him, whatever. But then Max Duggan, like, guys, I called it. If you go on our live stream, I called it that he was going to be our 7th round pick. And I'll tell you why I thought that. I just know that we have a lot of, like, Tom Telesco was specifically saying he wants 3 to 4 quarterbacks in camp. And with Max on the 7th round, they're like, this guy's a winner and he's won. Plus, he knows these other 2 wide receivers that we've already picked up.
Yep.
So there's a lot of continuity there, right? And that's there's value in that. So I like it. So, anyways, we're not going to beat a dead horse on it, but it's.
Yep.
I think they're great picks, and the undrafted free agents are awesome too. Like, I think there's a lot there that are going to be great. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. And I mean, the one thing too, I love that we ended up getting Q or any contract, these 6 players under contract.
Yep.
I did look at the salary cap situation. I mean, they haven't given the contract situations or values for the other players, but Quentin Johnson costs us basically about $2.5 million towards the cap this year.
Okay.
That's not bad at all. We're about $12.7 million cap space right now. So there is a little bit of a gap there. I mean, obviously we got to wait for the other contracts to come through. So I'd give or take probably say another, I'd say Thule's contract obviously would be the bigger one from here. That probably roughly around $1 million, probably cap hit for us, $1.5 million. We'll have a little bit of money to spend with, probably roughly around, I'll probably say about the $7.5 to $8 million.
Okay.
Mind you want to have a little bit of cushion to be able to work with on, injuries that happen in the year and such too. I did also look at our roster right now. We have 88 players right now.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
So you obviously go 90 into camp.
Yep.
Then it breaks down to the 51 players. Is it 51? Yeah, 53 players. And then you build out your practice squad from that point. So it's going to be a really interesting thing to see. And looking at basically free agents and everything too, we got to think we got 2 positions that are open here, guys. So there is a chance that we could go after some players here.
Yep.
I mean, I have a top 100 list here too. I think Andrew just brought up a link here too to be able to kind of look at some free agents.
So this is who we signed. I just kind of wanted to review who we did sign just real quick, and we could just do our general discussion on who we signed, like, dislike, yada yada, on our existing free agency tracker. So don't need to do a whole lot. Kendricks, I'm hyped on him, dude. Like, look, we all know that Brandon Staley liked Eric Kendricks over Drew Tranquill. Drew Tranquill was not considered that great, so I'm hyped. Like, what do you guys think of Eric Kendricks? In the chat, please let us know what you think, right? This guy is rated one of the highest linebackers in the league. And the thing that I like about him, too, is I think he can help Deion Henley as well. Henley's an athlete, man. That guy's amazing. So he's played all over the field. He understands coverages. He was a quarterback at one point, wide receiver. He's done everything. And now he's a linebacker. So Kendricks is great. I think Kendricks is a good pickup. I mean, what's your thoughts on him, James, specifically on that pickup?
I mean, I think he's a very good player. He's definitely, when he left the Vikings, a lot of the Vikings fans were pretty sad that he left because he's kind of been a legendary player for them for a really, really long time.
Yep.
Great guy, very aggressive at the line, great for the run game, pretty solid in the pass coverage kind of game. My concern about it is it's also 31 years old, like just what you highlighted here.
Yep, 100%. We talk about it. It's huge. It's huge.
It's I mean, age and all that wear and tear in your body makes a difference. And so I do think he's a very, very solid player all around for us. I think he's going to be a good leader for us. He's going to be a veteran guy for us. He's a guy that could really teach, not just Thule, but also to say, Kenneth Murray.
Murray, if he can get his shit together, dude. Like, I mean, it's weird. Like, that guy just has not figured it out.
Yeah.
The guy's a freak athlete. He's freakish, but he cannot figure it out. He just misses I don't know. It's frustrating. I would love to see Kenneth Murray back, but man, he just struggles, and Dayon, more I learned about Dayon, man. Like, I'm a big fan. So, but Kendricks is sick. You want a veteran room, right? And Eric Kendricks is pretty sick in that regard. So, yeah,
he's solid. He's solid. I mean, in Jalen Guyton, to me, is one of those guys we just got to bring him back. It's a speed out guy for us. He's a guy that could go out and run those out routes for us. It's another guy. I said a lot going into this year. We need two guys that could be a speed guy for us.
Exactly.
And Jalen Guyton fits that well. Darius Davis fits that extremely well for us. And I hope his knee is going to be well. It seems like he's doing well. He's working out with the team. So I'm excited about it.
Man, this is a sick picture. I like this picture. You see his eyes and everything. Freaking ripped right here, dude. Like, man, I've been saying Kemon Hall is sick, dude. Well, here's the thing. So can I just say this real quick? I love that we're bringing people back, right? We're not just letting people walk. We're bringing our players back. And that is a real switch from this team, right? Like, Kemon Hall hasn't seen the field a whole lot. I know we signed him for cheap, which is good. And this is the nice thing about bringing veterans in is you can bring these guys back for cheap because they haven't seen much field time, right? So they have, they can't, their agents can't say, hey man, this guy needs more money, right? We got him cheap, and then J.K. Scott, this guy is freaking sick. Look, I would say he's one of the best overall pickups that we've had in special teams. I'm so hyped on him, dude. Like, I think this guy is like ridiculous.
Yeah, he's really good.
Went to Alabama. I had this whole video thing I wanted to do with him like last year. And man, I've just been so hyped for him, dude. Like, I just think he's amazing. He's such a weapon. And Parham, forget about it, dude. What do you think about J.K. Scott and Parham, James?
Well, I mean, J.K. Scott's got the best hang time on his punts. And I mean, he made our special teams be what it was last year.
For real, dude. 100%.
I mean, we weren't having a lot of people running the ball on us on punts, kickoffs, or anything like that. We basically had a very strong special teams because of him.
Yes.
I think he was just an absolute weapon for us. And it's a very good thing that we got him back. I was a little worried about him not coming back.
Yeah,
so
me
I was
too.
like, oh man, we finally got a stabilization of our special teams. It was interesting. There was a conversation I had on Facebook where I think it was the 2010 season where the Chargers basically were number one in defense, number one in offense, but they were dead last in special teams and we didn't make the playoffs. The special teams is a big factor. There's three dimensions to this team. And that if you have terrible special teams, you're going to get eaten up still. You could have the best defense, best offense, and still not make the playoffs.
And let's talk about this for a second too, right? Like, okay, Deion Henley is a special teams beast.
Yeah, he's really good.
He loves special teams.
Yeah.
And he talked about that a couple times in a few videos, I think with Chris Hayre, right? And he said, hey, like, I love special teams. And that's his job initially, right? Kenneth Murray, that's his role, right? So we think he's going to replace him, at some, probably not this year, but next year maybe. And then you got Darius Davis, aka Lightning Bug. That's my nickname for him, Lightning Bug.
Right.
They call him DD or something like that at TCU, but Lightning Bug sounds way better to me. I mean, that's just freaking sick, dude. I love it, dude. I love Lightning Bug. Yeah. You heard it here. Right. Yeah. And then we got Parham, dude. Bro, I love Parham. Man, he's become a better blocker, right? He was an XFL dude, tall as hell. Man, that guy's a stretch, dude. But like, man, he's good. Like, he's a great red zone target. And James, you and I, we talked about this. Like, we had a lot of tight ends we could have gone after in the second round or even in the first round. We're like, well, we didn't do it.
First round,
yeah. Our tight end room is solid, man. Like, I feel comfortable with what we have, and so it's interesting. So what do you guys think in the chat as far as Parham is concerned? Right, I love this signing. I'm so glad we got him back, and I think it's amazing. And then
Parham could have a big factor in the Kellen Moore offense. I'm interested to see where they're going to try to rotate him around. And the thing about it is, some people even talked a lot about Xander Horvath and how he's going to be thrown around in this offense too.
Yep.
And, I mean, is he going to be kind of more of a tight end fullback kind of hybrid kind of player? Possibly. I mean, the guy is straight yoked. Like, the guy is straight yoked after the season. I mean, you saw some of his pictures. It was great. Donald Parham, to me, coming back 2 years with us, and Gerald Everett also still being with us next year. I think we got some really good setup for tight ends. We could have obviously gone to the top tight end in the draft, but we decided not to go that direction. We feel good about our, tight end room right now. We feel fine with where we're at. And I think Brandon Staley brought that up a lot about, Donald Parham's back for a reason.
Yep.
So,
and by the way, I'm loving this uniform combination right now as I'm looking at this. Good. Like, it's so weird. Like, I keep looking, I'm like, man, that looks so good right there. I mean, like the baby blue I love too, but man, this white on white like that. Man,
there was this thing in the end of the schedule release video where it showed LT in the all navy jerseys.
Dude.
So somebody was like, I wonder if that was like an ode to the Navy helmet, because maybe that they're saying like, hey, we're going to bring back the Navy helmet this year and put it on to one of our. I mean, obviously we have our Navy helmets through our Navy jerseys, which I wish we would wear those more often. I like that combo, the Navy on Navy.
Me too.
But bringing back like the old school mid 2000, Charger helmet too would be a cool combination and adjustment on helmets throughout the season and in all the uniforms and such too. So I don't know. Somebody just kind of brought that up, and I was like, that would be cool if they did bring back the 2000s setup. So
yeah.
But Trey Pipkins, good to have him back. I mean, how many times have we had issues with the right tackle?
Yeah.
Like, I'll take it all day to be able to bring back Trey Pipkins. And, I think we got I think that the big thing that they brought back Trey, and Trey was basically saying, like, Chargers were who I wanted to be with anyways. His interview that he had. I wanted to be here the whole time anyways. And so I think we have a good room and chemistry between our groups on our team. So, for instance, like tight end, I think we just got a good chemistry there that they feel good to keep those guys here. Offensive line, I think they felt good with the guys that they had there, and they wanted to make sure Trey Pipkins comes back and make it a priority. Just add another guy like McFadden, who I think is going to be a great versatile guy for our O-line for us. To be honest, I really hope that it's going to be another Jamari Sawyer for us. That's a very versatile guy.
Big time. Yep.
So, I mean, it's really, really good, man. Really good to be able to have him back and have stability on the right tackle. For sure.
Pipkins ain't easy, dude. Like, I tell you what, dude.
Pipkins ain't easy, baby.
Pipkins ain't easy, baby. I'm telling you, man. Like, I'm so glad we brought him back. And look, a lot of people like to, bash on Telesco about our draft and our draft picks and stuff. But here's my point. Like, sometimes you get players and they need to be development. I mean, I always think about JT Woods, right? So we're going to talk about another person I think could be a JT Woods, a target we could go after, because we don't think JT Woods is ready at this point. But my point is, like, look, at the end of the day, guys, we need to figure out, like, it's okay to have guys on the bench, and this team keeps bringing in veterans, and they need to learn from these veterans. Like, how do you get yourself ready for the game? And, we talked about my softball game, dude. Like, man, mentally it's tough sometimes. You just, you make a mistake. You're like, man, and you get in your head about it, and you make more mental mistakes. And, teams, I play in high levels, right? So, second base is screwing up. Third base is screwing up. So we're just going to keep hitting to that guy until they can make a play. And that's how it works, guys, in any sport, right? Pickleball, football, anything. And so, and the thing about Trey is, like, mentally he's done well. He's done a great job, so I'm hyped that we got him back. Re-signed our boy Will Clapp. Look, I don't love Will Clapp, but you know what? All right, that's fine.
Piece, take it. Yeah.
Depth piece, that's fine, right? He did okay. But let me just say this about Will Clapp really briefly. With Kellen Moore's run offense, you don't have to be that great. You really don't. The reality is he runs a lot of zone run, and that's really up to just the running back to pick the gap and just read option, right? So he just chooses where to run. And so it's not a lot of halfback dive left, halfback dive right. This will work well with Will Clapp, which is good. And I think that's a big reason why we re-signed him specifically. And then my boy Megan Fox here, dude. God, man. Megan Fox and Transformers, dude. Remember when she bent over that car like that? You remember that? You remember that shit? You remember that?
Transformer.
You remember what she did? She bent over the car. I'm like, oh my God, guys. What do you guys think about that?
We're talking about Morgan Fox here, not Megan Fox.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. All right. Close. But I'm so glad we brought him back, dude. Like, I'm telling you, this dude is so sick, dude. He's solid. He's solid. And our boy Scott Matlock that we just signed, in the draft, I think he'll learn a lot from this guy. I think he'll do well. So, I mean, I'm hyped. I'm glad we brought him back. And it's awesome to see us bring back players that have produced for us, which is amazing.
Yeah, so absolutely. And that's kind of a rare thing. I remember we were all having a conversation, how many people Telesco re-sign their own guys. And it's not a very common thing for him for the 10 plus years that he's basically been with this organization. And so it's really good to be able to see that he is actually building the right guys. And I really do think that there's a Brandon Staley factor that is really creating a culture to be able to cultivate players and keep players all around. So I think that they've done a great job of doing that too.
Yeah. So. And anybody that talks about Brandon Staley in a negative way, I always say to myself, like, okay, where's this coming from? I understand frustrations with him as far as some of the things he's done and said and whatever, but fourth and Staley, look, but my point is, dude, he's not had a losing season since he's been our head coach.
Yeah.
We're paying him $4 million a year, which is
not that bad
compared to what Sean Payton. What Sean Payton? He's getting $20 million a year now.
I think it was like 16 or 18 to 20 something million dollars or something. It's like crazy money. Yeah.
It's crazy. And I'm like, yo, dude. I'm like, come on, like, what's going on here? And so, yeah, it's a mess, right? So I like what he's done here. So amazing. And then Easton Stick, I think Easton Stick's amazing. He just hasn't had an opportunity to play in the field. Herbert's been healthy, right? And I think given the opportunity, Telesco and Staley say he's incredible. So I'm hyped on him.
Yep, absolutely, man. Absolutely, dude. So I mean, it's great to be able to see that. And Dicker the kicker, great to have him back too.
Big dig energy. No big deal. Big BDE, baby.
He's had a pretty good season with us. And I mean, it's interesting with him because he's going to have kind of a kickoff with Dustin Hopkins too, which
happening.
The thing about that is that if it doesn't work out and we cut Dustin Hopkins, we gain another like $1 million towards salary cap.
Yep.
So there is this thing that's like, hey, look, we're going to see how it works and best kicker wins kind of thing. So, and I mean, and obviously Cameron Dicker did a great job all around for us, man. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about having him on the team and see where he goes and how his year is going to be. And once again, it's good to be able to have two kickers on this team because at least in that sense, to try to have them figure out who's going to be the best kicker for us for the season. Because, I mean, how many times have we had kickers on this team that just can't figure it out and all of a sudden screw up and we have a terrible kick game? I mean,
100%.
Special teams is massive, guys. Special teams is massive, and we need to make sure that we are solidifying this team on every single level.
And by the way, that's guaranteed money for coaches. Guaranteed money.
It's crazy.
Guaranteed money, folks, right? It's this Walmart money that they're throwing. It's just stupid, dude. Like, who cares? Big dick energy right here. Dicker the kicker, dude. Bro, I'm hyped that he's coming back. So we'll see what happens. He'll be our guy, I think so.
We got a comment here. It's actually, I cannot say this, Signor V Moy 42, I think is how you say it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Hey, but thank you for the comment. Hey, Bull Bros, thanks for the great content. Is it me or the team is being disrespected by the people covering them?
Yep.
I know we have a lack at some positions, but when the Bears are seen as a tough game, and it trips me out about that game because
I agree.
And people are like, yo, I don't know if you're going to beat the Bears. Dude, the Bears weren't that good of a team last year, and they're going to be at home against us. And the Bears are very, very much a team trying to figure themselves out. Like I have a buddy that's a Bears fan, and it's not like they're very high on the team by any means. The schedule is not easy by any means. Original One just talked about it too.
The hardest schedule, dude.
Very tough schedule, which is kind of crazy because the strength of schedule is only around, I think, the 14th most difficult schedule in this year, which is crazy because there's a lot of really good teams. I mean, starting out against the Dolphins, I mean, they were a playoff team last year. I mean, they are a good team. They did get Jalen Ramsey too to add on that defense to help them out. I mean, they have two very good receivers out there too. They still got Tua as a quarterback, who I don't think is very good, but the same side, like it's not an easy season for us this coming year. So I'm excited about it, but I think there is some disrespect with the Chargers. But at the same side, respect because we did get 6 primetime games this year. We tied up with some of the bigger performer-based teams too for primetime games. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and let's wrap up with Foster Sarell, man. Like I'm hyped that we brought this guy back. Like, look, we saw some good things from him last season, and he's taking his career seriously, right? He's been at training camps. We saw an off season. He's out there doing his thing.
Yeah,
you know, guys, like let me say this, right? There's 17 games we play during the season. These boys right here are working still right now. They are at camps. They're working with coaches. Focus on this, focus on that, do this, do that, and they're working on their craft, guys. Like it's and it's tough, right? It's I love it, man. I really feel great about it, man. Like, and I just, anyways, there's a lot to be said about it on this, right? So, look, bottom line, I'm a huge fan. Like, I think that we've done some great moves. I like the moves, but maybe we should get into some moves that we think we should do right now. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll pull up that 100 list of free agents available too.
Well, let me do. Well, okay. I got a couple photos. Do you want me to do photos first, or you do the 100 list?
Either way.
Okay. All right. Let me show you one that I want right now. Like, this is the guy I want right now. JJ3. I want this guy, bro. This guy next to Derwin James, we would be freaking unstoppable. What do you guys think in the chat about? Man, do I think about him? Yo, he was a Ram. He knows Brandon Staley. He understands his defense. He understands what he needs to do. Lowe is not the guy. JT Woods hasn't shown up yet. So, but here's the problem. The Packers are looking at him with like a $34 million safety salary, like crazy money, right? And so I don't think it's a conversation around him wanting to be potentially with the Chargers. I think he wants to be with the Chargers, but we don't got the money for him at this point, right? And guys, this is the dollar conversation that matters, right? We can sit back all day and say, wow, he should come with us. Well, okay, fine, but you still got to pay the man, right? So I don't know about that. So what's your thoughts on him?
It's a tough situation to be able to say, because I mean, we are in a cap situation. After we end up signing our draft picks, we're going to have a couple $1 million, probably roughly around. You're probably going to be looking at $6 to $7 million left to spend on players. I mean, next year is a joke. I mean, I looked at that recently, and we're at like $59 million over the salary cap. So
100%.
It's not easy for us to be able to pick up somebody like a John Johnson, which you would love to be able to bring him in, but I just don't think we have the money to do it. Because I mean, the simple fact of it is, unless we have a lot of guys that are in, say, like our undrafted free agents, which I think we have some really good talent guys that are going to be coming in with that, it will really dictate if we could sign a guy. And I don't imagine he's going to get a contract of $34 million, $35 million. That sounds crazy to think about.
We don't have the money.
If you get John Johnson on this team, it'll really put this team to a whole nother level. And once again, continuity. He knows the team. He played under Brandon Staley. When he initially signed with the Browns, I wanted the Chargers to sign him. I really wasn't sold on Nazir Adderley. No. And obviously he walked away. I think he was mentally not in the game. He was playing out of contract, got paid, and is out kind of thing. I mean, good for him. I mean, hopefully he saved all his cash.
He did.
But John Johnson, I think, would add a great dimension to this team all around.
And 100%. Just so you know, Herbert, I was going to do a short video on this. Guys, just so you know, we are trying to re-sign Herbert, right? It's happening. So we did his extension. It's like $29.5 million. Yo, think about that. Think about that damn money, dude. Guys, think about that for just a second, dude. That is crazy money, right? And like, I mean, okay. It is what it is. So my other guy right here, KVN, man looks good in a bucket hat. He needs to probably shave up his beard a little bit. He needs, it looked a little bit disheveled right here. No big deal. But dude, like KVN was sick, dude. Like I loved him at the end of the season. Here's the problem, guys. probably going to sign with the Raiders. Everything I see from this is like, I think Raiders, man. I think that's where he's going to go, which makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
But every damn player, every linebacker goes to the damn Raiders for some reason. We already got what's his name over there?
Well, Denzel went over there.
Denzel Perriman. He's
over now with the Texans now.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He's on with the Texans. But
yeah, they've kind of had a little bit of purge of Charger players over there. But it's kind of an interesting thing with KVN because I think the Chargers could want him back. I'm not sure if they will get him back because obviously Max Duggan ended up taking his jersey number 8. So he would have to come back with a different jersey number, which I mean, I'm sure that's not much of an issue, but at the same side, like, are the Chargers trying to get it younger? Are they trying to stop having so many, older guys on the team or whatnot? I mean, Eric Kendricks is a little bit older, Khalil Mack's a little bit older. Are they just trying to find more youth? And I do think that KVN's a good leader. He played very well for us last year. I do think that there was a connection with Van Noy to the Steelers too, from what I saw too. But I mean, Brandon Staley did get asked a little bit about any free agents that could possibly come up. And he's like, hey, we got a set of players right now. We'll see kind of what it looks like. And then we'll kind of assess from that point. I do think that we want to get young because we are going to have to be very young next year.
We need
to be next
dollar
year.
Cap wise. We are.
Yeah.
Hey, look, human beings, we understand that we can't, we're writing checks we can't cash, right? And and that's a big part of the conversation that we talk about, right? And guys, like, dude, like, hey, 619, dude, like I'm telling you, I love that guy, dude. Bro, I saw him forever. I live in Utah. So I went to BYU. That's where I got my undergrad degree and I got a master's later on. But I'm telling you, man, like, that guy's a stud. 4-star recruit out of Nevada. I've watched his career for damn near ever, dude. And like, that guy's a freaking savage. And
yeah, he's solid.
And so, look, I love to have him back, but dollars matter, right? I mean, he's maybe got 1 or 2 more years left, right? So
it's funny, William, speed up, and he's considered the starter on the D line. At
it's
least
crazy,
on the depth chart, which is insane. So
it's crazy. Like he's horrible. Yeah. So I hear you, dude. So I think Aether had a question at the beginning here. Did you tag that at all?
No, I did not.
Okay. So let me go back here real quick. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. But look, okay. So, okay, here we go. Maybe this is it right here. Hey, Aether, question. If we're not picking the right question for you, let us know.
Yeah.
I hate when people don't listen to me. The Chargers and Chiefs are the best teams. But no, it's the truth though. Look, we are. Like, we have plenty of talent, right? Like, it's just, we got to make it happen. It's just, it's important.
Well, and he was kind of bringing up too about the NFL will basically not put the Chargers and Chiefs as game 1 because we kept hearing rumors about game 1. I mean, the thing about it is that they put them at week 7 and then we're not going to play them till basically last game of the year in January, basically. And so those are very critical games all around. But at the same side, it would be a highly entertaining game. And to be honest, that Lions-Chiefs game to start the season could be kind of a little bit of a dud game, by the way, too. So
stupid, dude.
I think it's a really, really odd game all around. I did want to bring up a list of just some other guys that I saw that would be really good, like free agents that are available still.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, original one. This is great, right? This is actually why I like the. So it was funny. I was looking at the undrafted free agent list, and there were so many teams that didn't bring a lot of people back, and I'm like, that's so weird. Like, they didn't pick up people, and I don't understand why, right? And like, my attitude is like, bring them to camp. Get under. It's a longer term conversation of getting to know players. Like Gerard Clark, I think is going to be a guy that will probably make the team. He will probably be a guy in undrafted free agent. He's probably my number 1 of. By the way, the entire. I'm doing a bunch of short. I already did the short videos. They're already there. They're going to be loading, and just watch them, folks, because we put a lot of effort into it. So that's going to be happening. All this short content. Gerard Clark, I think, is the guy that probably is going to make, and he'll make the team. And so I love the fact that we're bringing a lot of players in to push these veterans, because we don't want them to sit back and think, oh, hey, I'm just a veteran. I'm just going to win, and that's it. So I love it. It's going to be amazing. Yep. So I'm excited.
Yeah, there's a lot of good players that are out there, and I think that we're going to even players that are on the team. I mean, our practice squad does need to be able to have a team too. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of positions and slots available there. So, I think this camp battle is going to be fun. Even to say, the guy that we ended up getting from the international team, CJ Okie, what was his name?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! You know, we basically, the thing with him, he's going to be kind of one of those guys that's going to be potential guy that you could develop. I mean, he's got the size to be able to now, originally was on O-line, now to D-line.
Yeah.
Having him on that team, I think, is going to be great too. It's just, there's a lot of youth that we've injected in this team because once again, guys, next year is going to be a youthful team.
It's going to be huge. So. It's going to be huge. Well, but think about the drafts that Brandon Staley's been here with.
Yep.
Everyone has picked on Brandon Staley for his draft picks and also Tom Telesco. But my point is, like, look, it's their depth drafts. All of them are depth drafts. Like Jamari Sawyer, great example. That guy has, that guy's going to get paid ducats. You remember that word ducats? Ducats.
The ducats.
Ducats. Stupid word. Stupid slang word. But, like, here's the thing, dude. He's going to get paid, dude. That guy's he's going to make money, dude. He's done well. And by the way, Joey Lewis, hypothetically, if we won the championship this year, we would be able to keep some of the players next year. I would love to think that, but here's the problem. Players want to get paid, right? And you look at, like, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, those guys. Keenan Allen's supposed to get paid like $30 million next year.
30 something mil. Yeah, let me pull it up right
30
now.
Something, dude. Like, it's crazy money. And, like, Mike Williams is getting paid a ton. And so,
34.7 million is the cap number for Allen, and then 32.4 million for Mike Williams, 36.6 million for Joey Bosa, 38.5 million for Khalil Mack.
Guys, I mean, let's be realistic. It doesn't work out. Dollar-wise, it doesn't work out. What's the cap? 270?
Right now, this almost puts us at 60 million over the cap right now.
Yeah, 60 million, guys. So why did we pick up Q? Why did we pick up Thule? To replace our biggest cap problems for the season, right? So it makes sense, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So okay. Let's look at best. By the way, Leonard Floyd is the other guy too. Damn, Leonard Floyd.
I mean, he had about 9 sacks last year. I mean, now I don't know what kind of contracts he could have want as a player, but he came from the Rams. Brandon Staley basically resurrected his career, basically.
No shit, he totally did.
And I mean, he kind of came and followed him a little bit from the Bears. He kind of knew what he basically was as a player and how he was being underutilized. I mean, the thing about it is Leonard Floyd did have a pretty thick contract with the Rams, by the way. It was a 4-year, $64 million contract. I would love it if we could go after this guy. But I just don't think it's going to happen. An average salary of $16 million, but it would be great. But if you start kind of thinking, because edge has been one of those positions that we don't have a ton of, like depth, like Yannick Ngagwe. If you could get him just as another depth guy for us, I mean, he's kind of more of a starter kind of guy. But if you start adding somebody like that, or somebody that you could really bring in a little bit more depth, that I would feel comfortable with, because I mean, really right now as a team, we have basically, let's see, we got Joey Bosa, Thule, Chris Rump, Ty Shelby, Khalil Mack, Brevin Allen, Andrew Farmer, who could really kind of do well with Andrew Farmer being one of the undrafted guys. I mean, we don't really we have like basically 4 guys. So we have like a team A, team B type situation on the edge, or at least the outside guys for us with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. So the weak side and strong side linebacker positions are very thin, in my opinion. I would like to be able to find one other guy out there, if possible, on that edge side of things. But, they listed John Johnson on there, obviously, too. But I do think that's just where my head's at. I mean, Kareem Hunt's been a guy that I've thought about for like a running back.
Yeah.
That it would be kind of nice to be able to have another kind of a little bit more bulldoze kind of guy, a guy that could really work the goal line all around. Trey Flowers actually isn't a bad player, but once again, Kyle Van Noy is 22 list there. So, I mean, it would be either Kyle Van Noy probably would make more sense. I would probably say it'd be about $1.5 million to $2.5 million probably signed for 1 year. It's not going to be a big sign. So I just wanted to throw out a couple guys out there that are out there. that might be kind of a good position or to fill a gap in that whole edge position for us.
Yeah, no, bro, I love Leonard Floyd. I love him, dude. And
yeah, he's solid.
Guys, it's here's the thing. We talked about this so much on the channel, and a lot of content creators for the Chargers don't really talk about this. It's a dollar conversation, right? It's not about, do we want people back? The answer is yes, we do. But we have to make business decisions. That's the point. And Q can replace Mike Williams, but yeah, Keenan Allen, his route running ability is ridiculous, guys, right? And so you have to ask yourself this question. Can Q pick up what Keenan Allen does? Think about Keenan Allen. I've watched the thing about Keenan Allen. He's so deceptive in what he does, right? He always starts out the same way, but then he makes a move, and it's like, oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
And he's just really good, and so it's really hard, right? Yeah. And anyways, I just really feel like, and again, this is a great example. Palmer's the closest thing, but he's not Keenan. He's just not. He's just not.
Yeah. Not at all. And that's the whole thing Josh Palmer's in his third year. And Tom Telesco talked a little bit about him too, and saying like, hey, you know what? He's in his third year. He's probably going to make a leap at this point. And to be honest, last year, he did do a pretty good job last year. And I do think that he's learning a lot about how to be Keenan Allen. And, Tom Telesco really likes Keenan Allen. But really, the thing is, next year, salary cap's going to be a nightmare for us. There's a great chance that we're going to be getting rid of either Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Joey Bosa, and Khalil Mack next year. It could be 2 or 4 of those. It could be 3 or 4 of those. It's really dependent on what's going to happen on this next season, in my opinion. This is like the thing. This season is like, we're going to run it back again, guys. And 100%. We're going to see where it goes from this point. We're going to run it back with the guys that last year couldn't stay healthy on the field. But, that's where Darius Davis, that's where Q has to step in. That's where Palmer needs to be able to show that he's going to be a very reliable guy for us as a 2, 3, or whomever it is as a wide receiver. So I don't know. I'm excited about it, but it is kind of a scary thing thinking about a life after, Keenan Allen, just because he's a good security blanket for Justin
He's so
Herbert.
amazing.
But once again, guys, Justin Herbert makes very average receivers, in my opinion, look way better. And I'm not saying Keenan Allen's an average receiver. He's an elite receiver, but he's getting up there in age. And so age is going to play a big factor towards 2024 and also contracts.
Yeah. And this is a good question by Antoine Whalen, right? So who else do you think we need on the team stacked already? Look, I think KVN will be great. I really want John Johnson. I'm not sold completely on Woods yet, or also a Lowy, right? Low is good, but he's not great. So yeah, and it's tough, right? Like, so man, but like, I love John Johnson, but dude, I don't think we can afford him, which kind of sucks. I promise you, we're talking to him right now.
Yeah,
I promise you, we're talking to him right now, and we're having a conversation. Yeah,
I'm sure we probably have had at least touched base on him, seeing kind of what he's doing. I mean, obviously, Brandon Staley's worked with him, so it kind of makes sense. I was gonna say Mark Matlock over here, Hunt is not a culture fit, and that's and that's true, and that's very, very true. He is not a culture fit for us, and that's probably one reason why we have not signed him too. But remember, we did last year end up signing Sony Michel, who did not work out well, kind of late in the situation. I do think that there is a chance that we're going to start looking at signings kind of going into camp or even after camps, where veterans do end up getting cut and everything, and they start picking up guys, which probably would make the most sense, because if a player that's like a veteran guy ends up getting cut after, the camp or whatnot, they're still going to have money that team owes that guy.
Yeah.
And he's more willing to sign cheaply at some other place to get an extra $1 million or whatever, but still get the salary from whatever team that he ended up getting cut from. So that's a good point that could be coming around for us, or a good chance that we will go after players at that point, at that time. So yeah, vet minimum. Exactly. So who knows, man? I mean, there's a lot of little things out there that could really grow out this team a little bit more, but I'm excited to be able to see what's going on. And yeah, Spiller does need to step up for sure. Pure mustard, man.
Pure mustard.
Definitely need to. And that's the thing. I'm very much looking at him this year. And even to say some of our undrafted free agents, I mean, I think there's a couple guys that could be
those
very,
guys are
very
sick,
good players.
They're sick.
Yep.
They're very Austin Eckler-like, which is interesting to me. I'm drawing a blank on their name.
Dotson is the one guy that I kept thinking from. Ironically, Northern Colorado.
Yep.
And he transferred from Sacramento State. Guy kind of reminds me of a lot of Austin Eckler.
He does
have the ability to catch the ball. He's 2018. He had basically 185 rush attempts, 1,145 yards, 9 touchdowns, 14 catches, 160. But the more recent year, he had 35 catches, 205, 2 touchdowns, but then had about 636 yards. There is a lot of things about him. Oh, actually, in 2019, he had 70 catches, 702 yards, 4 touchdowns, with 742 rush yards with 7 touchdowns. So it is kind of weird. They're almost trying to get a guy that's Austin Eckler, but not Austin Eckler on his salary.
Yes. Well, and look, we don't know what's going to happen to Austin Eckler. Yeah. So let me give you my thoughts on him, like specifically. He's going to be a Charger, but here's the thing. It could go depending on what happens in preseason, right? Like injuries, all these things pop in. If a team loses their like star running back for 5 weeks, okay, we need Eckler. Is he still available? And they get desperate. They'll give us a 2nd round pick or a 3rd round pick or whatever the hell we wanted. But Telesco's been very clear, and also Brandon says he's been very clear. Hey, he's coming back. So it is what it is. And by the way, I think Spiller, guys, I think offensive, man, I'm so excited to see what Kellen Moore is going to do with this offense.
Yep.
Joe Lombardi, I just always looked at him as a doofus, like just a freaking doofus, like a goofy doofus. Like he did what he wanted to do, but it never worked. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, why are you doing that? Like, and it was just so odd to me. So Moore has an idea to this, a method to the madness. So I'm excited, man. I think he's going to be he's going to be the guy.
Yeah, I agree. You know, one thing too, I think it was, Anthony also brought up the thing. If CJ doesn't step up this year, the move could be next year's draft is a running back. And that's totally possible. The one thing too, it was interesting because I was reading some stuff about kind of like the win over and under for wins, basically for the Chargers next year at 9.5. And they said the one thing too that could really dictate that is if the Chargers do end up moving on with Austin Eckler, say in a trade or whatnot, that's really going to change that number for us. So
big time.
Which is crazy to think about that. Cause I mean, once again, if Isaiah Spiller looks great in preseason, I think we'll be fine with or without him kind of thing. I think Austin Eckler is an absolute stud, but we just don't have money right now. And I don't know if we will have money even next year. So
yeah, I mean that's real world problems though, right, guys? Right? I mean, at the end of the day, we can sit back and say, "Well, I'd love to get a Bugatti, but I can't afford a Bugatti." Yeah. Joey Bosa is gonna have a career season this year. Woo! I hope so. I would love that.
Bold prediction: we're healthy next season. Yes, I would love to see that. And by the way, we do not have a new trainer. By the way,
I was just gonna say that. We have no training guy. Yeah. What's the exact title?
I think it's just head of training or something like that, or director of player training. I don't know what it is, but either which way, it would be so ironic if we end up firing the guy that's been with the organization for 30 years and then we have the most healthiest season we've ever had.
Be crazy, right?
How funny would that be?
Well, and there's a lot to discuss on that, right? Like, because you got to ask yourself this question: why? Okay. So Ichiro Suzuki, baseball, he never lifted weights. He did more like flexibility and like stretching. Now, baseball is different than football. Yeah. But my point is, like, he stayed healthy his entire career. He never had major injuries. He was incredible, but he focused on flexibility. And I remember LT talking a lot about that during his career. He was more about flexibility, chiropractic work. I know all these players have chiropractors that they work with and yada, yada. But my point is the strength and conditioning coach matters, right? That person matters because what you do, we want to keep our players healthy, right? And so You will. It'll be interesting to see. So as soon as that person is hired, we will let you guys know. And by the way, 619, man, 13-4. Damn, I love that. 12-5. I'm saying 11-6. That's what I think. So, what do you guys think in the chat on that?
It's kind of crazy how the NFL set up that the last game of the year is going to be against the Chiefs on week 18, and they didn't even schedule a date for that. So it's kind of like if we're talking about an NFL script here, they're writing a script to be able to set
They are writing script, guys. Yep.
To kind of create a dramatic end to a season. I mean, how cool would it be if it's like the Chargers are sitting at 12 and what is it, 5 at that point? Yeah. And then same thing, the Chiefs are sitting at that same point, and this is the game that decides the division or something like that.
Yeah.
That would be awesome to be able to see. But really, if you think about it, there is kind of a script factor of why they chose that game versus starting the season against the Chiefs. I mean, we only played 2 division games in the first. It's like dang near most of our division games are in December.
Yeah,
dang
they are.
All of them are in December.
They're late. They're late.
Only 2 division games for us in the first like 6 weeks or whatever it is. And that's it. And then it's all just like, NFC games, AFC North games or East games. I mean, it's weird to see that. It's weird to see. So they really broke down a script of where the division is basically going to be won in December of some sort. So
yeah, in charge of Chris, I'll tell you right now, you were the guy when we were live, when we picked up Quentin Johnson, you were like, yo, he's sick. And we're just like, bro, like, really, dude? Like, bro, look, hey, I want to highlight you because you were the guy that said, hey, man, he's the right guy. Joey Lewis says 12-5, man. Like, I'll tell you, look, we're going to score points. Kellen Moore wants to light up the scoreboard. He wants to freaking okay, so maybe we should have a conversation about this in the chat, right? Because like I think about this a lot. Like, okay, think about this for a second. Mike McCarthy kept saying, yeah, I want my defense to rest. Why are you scoring so many points?
Yeah.
What a dumb shit conversation, right? Like, let's score points. Like you win the game by scoring points, right? I played a softball game. I played 2 softball games in a row last night. We could have beat the holy hell out of both of those teams. We had people that normally swing right. They were swinging left-handed just to not score up the points. And I thought about that a lot last night. I thought, man, like, why aren't we doing that? But and the games got way closer than they should have been. Why are we holding back? Let's donkey punch these hoes, right? Y'all know what that is in the chat. Donkey punch them. Get it done. And Joey, you're exactly right. Blow them out. I remember watching. Do you guys ever watch that show on was it Netflix? Last Chance. Like the football players that like they're all messed up. They kind of screw up in like Florida and whatever, and then they go to these like smaller schools because they just want to play. I mean, just blow them out. Like, why are we messing around, dude? Like, and that's what the Chiefs do. That's what the Chiefs, and that's actually really what the Eagles do, really, right? Offense, defense, they just blow them out.
Yep, absolutely. So, I mean, the thing about it is, and I think Mike McCarthy just wants to pace the game a little bit more all around.
But I understand the concept about that, but why? What is the point? Donkey punch him. Just freaking smash him in the ground and just put him to sleep. You're done.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the older mentality, like Marty Schottenheimer, where we're playing
exactly
Marty ball basically late in the game.
Yep.
Just run the ball, run the clock down, basically get a couple first downs, call it a game. Because, I mean, the thing about it is like the pass game could kind of, or the run game could still, somebody could fumble the ball or whatnot. But the pass game kind of ends clocks versus the running the ball, allows the clock to keep going. Obviously, if you play like the pass game and you want to be able to get to whatever X amount of first downs or whatnot, you got to play the short game to be able to allow that clock to keep ticking down at that point. But you still got to find a way to get first downs. And I think the thing is, though, like, I'm interested to see what that balance is going to be for the Kellen Moore office.
Me too.
I mean, I would love to be able to see a lot more high scoring games for us. I'd like to be able to stop having these close games where it ends up being a 3-point game or 1-point loss or whatever it might be. I would like to see some games where we blow some teams out, and I'm good with that. So yeah, this guy, dude, this guy, so good.
Bro, I'm telling you, why are we messing around with these people? Because the argument now in the AFC, and by the way, the AFC and the NFC are completely different, right? Because the NFC, man, they play a different form of offense, right? And the AFC is like just light it up. Light it up, man. I mean, I love this, dude. Hey, by the way, I love being with you guys, man. Seriously, we talk about this all the time with the Bolt Bros. Again, we are real brothers. This is my brother James. I'm Andrew, and then Kyle is my real brother. He's down in Las Vegas with this lady, so he's having a good time. That's why he's not here on this channel, but for this one. But my point is, guys, we love communicating with you guys, and look, I think no matter what we do this season, we are going to score more points. Joe Lombardi held Justin Herbert back. James, how many times did you have conversations? And Kyle, Kyle's not here, but we talked to so many people dude, Lombardi's holding him back. Yep. And he is.
100%.
So I really think Moore is going to say, man, let's make it simple and easy. Let's just make it easy for you. So I love it. Yeah.
So here's the Aether's question here.
Yeah, okay.
Here's my question. I'm confused about what they mean a 50-man roster, but 22 starts only, bro. Yeah, well, there's special teams. There's basically team A, team B, team C for 100%. Positions. So you have levels to everybody. Yeah, I mean, one guy goes down, you got to have some other person to be able to back him up and bring in to fill the gap. So 53 men is your start squad for your daily game or your weekly game. So you pretty much have got to have depth all around. So special teams, your starting lineups for both sides, and then obviously you got to have depth on top of that. So that's what it is.
Yeah. So, and by the way, the thing that I've loved about Q, by the way, and just so Chris, just I've watched so much videos on him, and I've read every article I could possibly find and everything I could possibly think. So here's what I think about Q. Q's got great footwork. He's a little bit raw. His route running is a little bit raw still. So that's the argument with him. Catches the ball internally a little too much, not a little more aggressive with the ball. That's where Mike Williams and Keenan Allen can really help him. But my point is, I think he's also one of those guys that can really make a difference long-term with this team. He's faster than his combine would suggest specifically. And so it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out with him specifically. But again, he's going to replace Allen or Williams, one of the two, for sure. So,
Yep. Yeah, and the thing about it is, Charger A. Chris, he doesn't seem like he has much faith in Staley, basically, what he's pretty much saying. And so that's the thing. Once again, he's in his third year as a coach. He has not had a losing season. I'll take that all day.
Yep.
Technically, we got to the playoffs last year. The game in his first year, we had a playoff game in season to get to the playoffs with the Raiders. And that was one of the most memorable games that I could have, because it was one of the most, and I've saw that game multiple times. The way it ended is what it is. But that was one of the most amazing, perfect examples of what Justin Herbert can be as a quarterback. Amazing game. Now, once again, we want him to be healthy this year so he could do all that kind of same thing. But to me, Brandon Staley's a stud, and I think that he's only going to get better as a coach. And I think that this upcoming year is going to be a big, big year for him. He's really done things where he's changed people in the locker room. So the head of athletic training and such too, and conditioning, he's gone. He's ended up getting some of the coaches that he wanted to get out there too. He got in the new coaches. He got guys from Georgia's program also too. He's got basically Kellen Moore, who's going to be, I think, a fantastic offensive coordinator for us. I think he's really built his squad right now. And I think he's also getting his team that he really wants now too. So I think all around, I'm very excited about where this team's going to be. And I think Brandon Staley's a stud. I even have the Let's Go Brandon Staley team going on today. So.
Hey, that's a viral shirt, guys. And, those shirts are for sale, link down below. Take a look at them. But look, I agree, man. It's going to be awesome. And Joey, high power offense is what I want to see, and I think our defense is going to be better next year. I mean, pray to God that we can stay healthy, right? Can we stay healthy for a damn change? Like, I just feel like every year it's the same conversation. And Aether, it's going to be tough, man. Like the Charger, dude. We have these games where we just kind of struggle, right? Like, yep. I don't know look, the NFL is tough. We are not easy. I think we split with the Chiefs this season. Guys, what do you think in the chat? Are we going to split with the Chiefs this season? I think we will. I really do think we will. I think we're the best team in the AFC to compete against the Chiefs, and I think we'll split. I would love to see us beat them both times, but Bills might be tough. Cowboys got such a good defense, man. And I just look at our schedule, and I feel like 6 makes sense. And we're playing hard teams. Patriots, Bill Belichick, man. That guy is a freaking nightmare, man. Like, he's good.
He just knows how to beat us every single dang time.
He knows how to beat us, guys. And like, I could sit back all day and say, yo, like, I mean, Minnesota's good. Guys, we have no easy. I mean, we might even lose to Miami. We might even lose to Tennessee. Man,
I feel like we're going to be a 4-0 going into the bye, in my opinion. And that's actually what we've chatted about in the schedule release, that I think we'll be 4-0 starting out the season going into the bye. The thing about it is, it's funny about this article. That's the first thing that they said. Biggest takeaway. They actually, not biggest takeaway. They said bold prediction. Chargers will enter their bye at 4-0 with more directed offenses stealing the attention of the NFL. So, like, people think that we are going to go that way. Now, once again, I've been a Chargers fan for a long time, and there's a lot of things that we think is going to happen, and then guess what? They find ways to stumble, and they'll probably end up being 2-2 going into the bye.
Yep.
I've seen that before quite a bit of times. Yep. But I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to go 4-0 this start of the season. The thing is, though, this game's awesome because Kellen Moore is coming back to play against Dallas, and then the first game versus KC. I would love it if we beat them there. I mean, if you start looking at the schedule, once again, you don't win Super Bowls in May, by the way. And we're starting to think, like, if I'm looking at Aether's question, where's our 6 losses based upon if he's going 11-6?
Yeah.
Where are they? I mean, KC, we're going to split for sure. I have a feeling something's going to happen with the Jets. We're going to end up losing with them on Monday Night Football.
Oh, man, I hope not, dude. Aaron Rodgers is a dickhead. I don't like that guy at all, dude. He sucks.
We're going to lose against New England, that's for sure. Like, there's no way we're winning that one. Buffalo, I think we'll lose against Buffalo. I think we'll find a way to split with Denver because it's pretty common that we do that. So that'd be 1-2. I think we'll split with KC. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, I think we'll find some sort of way to lose this one. 5, the Baltimore game. Yeah, that's kind of where it could be. I think it could be the Baltimore game. So that's where I think it's going to be. I mean, we did lose to Minnesota last time we played them, but I think that will be fine. I think we'll be fine for that one. So,
do you remember what happened in that game? Justin Jefferson ran over the sideline, threw a ball at Keenan Allen. You remember that? I was so pissed off at that.
Yep.
I was like, "Oh, are you serious? You freaking dickhead, dude!" I was so angry, and I was like, like, that's so disrespectful, and just lame. Look. At the end of the day, guys, schedule doesn't really matter. You just got to get to the playoffs, right? And you got to be the team that's better at the end of the season, right? And get healthy for a damn change, right?
Yeah. Like,
every season we have this conversation around us not being healthy, and I mean, just is what it is, right? But like, come on, man, like, we got to get healthy at some point, And Chargers, you're right? Chargers, Chris with Staley, I see a guy that loves to outsmart himself, maybe. And then we also have a new defensive coordinator. Derek Ainsley, right? So we'll see what he does. Let's see how he change. Brandon Staley's defense is extremely complicated. It's extremely complicated. Like it's when you say quarters, it's not really quarters. It's kind of quarters. It's kind of man defense. There's a lot involved with it, right? And so safeties have a lot of. This is kind of why I like John Johnson, because it's difficult to play the safety position under Brandon Staley's defense, right? Because they're making very specific decisions. Is this a pass play? Is this a run play? And it's very hard to be good at those positions at any given moment, right? So That's where the veterans are nice. And I think it's really where like JT Woods is struggling. I don't think Lowe is really there yet. I think he's good, not great, but we'll see what happens, right? So
exactly,
it's tough. It's tough.
Yep. I think it's interesting how it's like Charger Chris said that as how he outsmarts himself. And I mean, the thing about it is like, look, I mean, he's learning and he's figuring things out. And I personally feel like this season we probably could go a little bit more Fourth and Staley this year, because if our offense is going to be high powered, try to stop us
big time,
basically.
Big time.
And if our defense is actually just an average defense against the run, I think that will be great. I think the big factor this season for our defense, if JC Jackson could come back healthy, say he's going to be week 1, I feel very confident that he's going to be in a good position here shortly. And I think he will be very healthy this year. I think that's going to make this defense a totally different defense all around.
Big time.
And Mark Matlock, 9-8, 10-7, 11-6. I think that's kind of really where my mind's at. I think it's just going to be a one game at a time increment of being better each year. The thing about the Chargers is we haven't had a lot of consistency years. And it's consistently that we're like, okay, all of a sudden we have a 7-9 season. And then all of a sudden then we're like we're like a 10-6 team. And then we're back to 5-11. And then we're like not consistently there. As a Chargers fan, I want a consistent product on field. I want to consistently be a better team every single year. And at some point, when consistency comes around, you'll find a way to get to a Super Bowl. You'll find a way to be able to win one. I mean, it's very, very hard for a team to go 9-8, find a way in the Super Bowl. First time they've been in the playoffs for 10 years and go to the Super Bowl and win one. It's just not a common thing all around. So I just want to see year to year, just get a little bit better and, elevate your game further and further and further. So I'm looking at it as we need to get to the divisional round. We need to be able to get to potentially the championship round in the playoffs. I mean, we just need to be able to get a little bit better this year.
Agreed. Around. Yeah. And again, I think you're exactly right. Hopefully more offense will outscore more teams. And by the way, the week 5 bye is kind of crappy. That kind of sucks. It's too early, right? Especially when you want to be healthy going into the end of the season. Kind of sucks. I'm a little frustrated about that, but it is what it is. So,
well, the one thing that they talked about is that there is a lot of like Monday night games, Sunday night games. There are Thursday night games. There are games that throughout the season, and Brandon Staley kind of talked a little bit about that too from the other day when the rookies were training with him. There is kind of levels of bye weeks that they do have. So it's not like a 1 week bye. It's like, oh, okay, well, we have, essentially we have a Thursday night game, and then obviously you have your next game in 10 days or whatnot.
Right.
That's fine. That's fine. Like, I think that's not bad. So we kind of do have a bye week. It's just not an official bye week kind of thing.
Yeah. NFL, win, lose, no big deal. It's tough. Just don't get stupid and call plays. No excuse. And look, the thing that I've loved about Kellen Moore's offense, everything I see, is that he wants to drive the ball downfield as fast and hard as possible. Let the defense, get a couple stops, right? Yep. And it's no big deal, right? And like really, it's a big thing.
Yep.
By the way, I would love to see this, Aether. This is your big bold prediction. I love this, bro.
I mean, that'd be killer.
I would love to see this because, here's the thing. I love Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. They're freaking sick. And man, I said this last year. Even last season, I think if we could have just had Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa healthy all season, we would have at least have 2 more wins.
Yep.
They're so good at setting the edge. They're so good at everything. And and again, like KVN, we talked about him earlier. Like, he had to step up and do edge rushing, which is not his bag. He wants to do it, but that's not what he does well, right? So,
yep, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the issue with us, every single year, like I'm putting my bold prediction out. We're healthy this year. Like that's my bold prediction. And I'm saying that also in the sense that we got rid of our strength and conditioning coach for 30 years that's been on this team. And that's been an issue for our team forever.
Yep.
My bold prediction is that we actually stay healthy this year. And last year we were not, obviously. It's funny because, like, think of last year. How many times did we say get a lot of updates from Brandon Staley? I don't know what really the condition is and the situation, but he's day-to-day. Oh, it's day-to-day. Oh, it's a soft tissue. It's a soft tissue. And it just seemed like he kept people out all the time. And now I wonder if he's got that guidance from him, the head athletic trainer or whatnot.
Yeah. Could have been.
He just didn't really know. Like, I don't know if I was Mike Williams and like I had my issue that happened in the last 17 or week 17 or week 18 games. I mean, I'm pretty positive he should have been out in the field, in my opinion. Maybe just that athletic trainer just kept holding people back. And there's a lot of times that we've done that under Brandon Staley that it seems like he's getting held back for some reason about playing players. I get it. I get it that there's players that are injured. I get it. I understand 100%. But I do think there's a level of like understanding, knowing the situation, knowing you're playing a playoff game, knowing that, hey, if you could do a couple things and just run a couple routes, have a set 20 plays for this player just to be on the field, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. And I do think that there is something that firing our athletic trainer makes a big difference for this team. So I'm bold 100%. Prediction. We're going to be healthy this year.
Yeah. And can I ask, if Staley doesn't win a playoff game this year, do we let him go? Look, front office loves Staley right now, man. That guy I have a hard time seeing him get let go. The wheels would have to really fall off the track for him to get let go. So that's kind of my thought. Yeah, and this is great. Leo, you're exactly right. Apples and oranges. I think what would be pleasant surprise with Moore's offense. Here's the thing. Moore has a very unique set of abilities, right? He understands defenses because he was a quarterback, right? He understands how to expose defenses in certain spots. And so I think he'll do a very good job of doing that with us and making it simple for Herbert, right? Because, under Lombardi's offense, he had a lot of specific focus that was very difficult for him. Like, he had to be perfect to work.
Yeah.
And that sucked, right? That was difficult for him. And so, and it was difficult for anybody. I mean, like, you had to be perfect, especially with a rib injury, all these stuff that he had to deal with. So,
absolutely. Yep. And Mark, man, and that's exactly what I was saying. There was a lot of times last year where we're like, okay, is Keenan supposed to be coming back? Oh, I don't know. Soft tissue. He's getting better. It almost like there was a miscommunication of what's going on with these guys' injuries. And that's a perfect example. Never was on the IR. Like, odd. It's odd. So I'm just feeling like we're going to have a better team, a healthier team next year. I mean, it's crazy to say that we've had the same guy for 30 years and we've honestly always had the same issues with injuries. I think there was a big miscommunication going on with that position. So I would love it to be able to see that happen, that we finally are healthy. And Aether, I believe the Bolts go surprise teams.
So sick.
And shock if they're and don't be shocked. They're unbeaten after week 10 and they're hungry and desperately. I mean, I
can see it.
I would love to see it, man. I would love to see it. I mean, once again, in some of the comments, guys, I know you guys were chatting about if we're just a halfway, like 15th ranked defense, and specifically just on run defense. If we could just be in the top 20 against the run, that would be a dramatic difference of our team. All around.
Huge difference.
I think if we could just find a way to stop the run, I think our pass defense is going to be phenomenal all around, especially if JC Jackson comes back and is fully healthy. I'm really rooting for him, man. I'm really trending positive. Dude, how often do we hear that one, dude?
Brennan says it all the time. Every week. Trending positive.
What does that even mean? Stop. You gotta stop with it's a soft tissue issue. What?
Soft tissue.
Soft tissue.
What the hell does that mean? You got Charlie Horse in your ass or what?
Man, you got a box of Kleenexes or something? What's going on here?
Hey, and Mark, that's exactly the point, right? Like, that's where Kellen Moore is very good. He does mid-game adjustments. If you see statistically what he did with the Cowboys, arguably not really a great team. I mean, offensively, Dak Prescott's not Justin Herbert, right? No. He kept it very simple for Dak Prescott. I think he's going to put more on Justin Herbert this year. So I want to see, it's be good.
Yeah. And going even to say further with Lombardi lost our games at third quarter, basically. Yes. He never came out with the second half saying, hey, this is what the defense is doing. This is what we're going to do.
Yep.
He basically almost seemed like he came out with the same exact idea. Well, it worked out in the first half. Let's keep it in the second half. Third quarter, I think we maybe had like 2, maybe 3 touchdowns all season in the third quarter.
Yep.
We lost every time in the third quarter. And that's just why we ended up having these heart attack games where we had to figure things out in the end or find a way to be able to get a touchdown, or we end up losing in the end. we just did not have the ability to make adjustments, and he was awful in the third quarter all around. So and Leo, man, I'm glad you're on my train, my man. Hey, we're going to be healthy. Let's make it happen. I'm excited for it.
And I would like to see our defense. Biggest bold prediction, Staley will get his defense together. Look, we need to be healthy, right? And that was our disagreement every year, right? Is that we were just never healthy. We were never able to stay healthy and be on the field, and it was just so frustrating. I mean, how many defensive linemen did we lose last year? Like Tito went down, Johnson went down. Well, actually, SJD was fine, but it sucks when you start losing players like that. It's tough, right? And the good news is, Staley's got his guys in there now, right? He has the right players. They just got to stay healthy, and if they can do that, we'll be in fine shape. So I'm excited. So there's a lot to be said about that.
Absolutely, man. So you want to wrap it up? I know we're like an hour and 20 minutes in on this one, but
we just like to talk. We just flap our gums, dude. It's just super fun for us,
We love sitting there chatting with you guys about everything too, man. And this is great all around, and we love to be able to hear this. I mean, once again, I think the Chargers posted today that we're 120 days from week 1. And, my last thoughts is that I'm excited about this team. I'm excited about this year for this team. And what I said in this podcast is I think Brandon Staley really has his squad now. I think he's really found his guys. Remember, Joe Lombardi wasn't his first choice, by the way, as an offensive coordinator. It was basically Kevin O'Connell, who's the head coach for the Vikings. So this is one thing here that I think we really got a good squad going into this year. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm counting the days down. And by the way, happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. If there's any mothers on this, whatnot, happy Mother's Day. We're kind of doing the show just today because tomorrow is Mother's Day.
Exactly correct.
So we're excited to be able to be here on this one with you guys. But, bolt up, guys. Let's keep it going. So last thoughts, Andy.
Yeah, I would just say this, man. Look, at the end of the day, guys, I think we got an awesome draft. The draft is amazing. Secondarily, I think that, and Joey, you're right. I think we don't have a lot of holes on this team, guys. Like we don't. We just got to stay damn healthy for a change. And I feel like there's so much that we're doing right, and we just got to stay healthy. Please keep Herbert upright. And we're going to be fine. We're going to score points. We're going to be fine. And look, I'm saying, let's go. Let's go, Brandon. Say, what's up? What's up?
Brandon Staley, baby. Let's go.
Now, I will say this with Kellen Moore. I do think we're going to go more fourth and Staley this season, too. Kellen Moore wants to light up the scoreboard. So guess what? Let's go for it. I got to play. He's going to draw up some plays that are going to be great at fourth down, fourth and short, whatever. Right. So, guys, I couldn't be more excited. I just can't, I couldn't be more excited. I think it's going to be amazing. So boys,
I'm ready for it.
Girls, we're going to be excited. It's going to be good. It's a good season.
Yep. I'm looking forward to this season, man. And it's like, I keep thinking about training camp and everything too in July. And, hopefully being out there with you guys out there day 1 of training camp. I mean, it was last year. It was straight up lit. What was going on there, man? Lit. There was so many people there. I mean, I remember the Pat McAfee showing an image of training camp and saying, "Oh, Chargers fans don't have any Chargers don't have any fans." Well, look at this. It was just packed, and there was so many fans there. Really cool situation there, and I think there's going to be a big hype for this season too. So, once again, guys, I'm excited to be able to get the season going all around, and we appreciate you guys' support and everything too on the channel. We do this for you guys. It gives us an outlet to be able to talk about our team. Yep. And my wife doesn't care about talking about the Chargers. So, hey, I want to talk to Chargers fans. So
exactly right. 100%.
Yeah. Yep. So I get to bore you guys with all my useless facts about the Chargers and such. So, but either way, guys, I'm excited and appreciate you guys' support all around. And let's get this season going. I can't wait.
Yeah, me too. All right. So you gonna hit the button? I'm gonna hit the button.
I'll hit it.
Okay.
All right, guys. See you guys. Happy Mother's Day. Bolt up. Bolt bros. Let's
go.